This is Chris Kelly, just a simple explanation of your client's off-day fitness program. Now, located in our front lobby, we have a folder which is labeled Client Fitness Program. All right, and contained in this folder are all the pages that are emailed to the clients, after they sign up with us. All right, now just going through this very quickly, one of your jobs as a trainer is to simply go through this program with the client to make sure that they understand what they're doing and to customize it based upon their needs. All right, so we have when we open the notebook here, we just list it based upon the page number, so page 2 all the way through page 9. Right, and with this as well, keep in mind you'll see below here we have a couple of links the client can click on to download, for example, our nutrition guide, our core program, and our conditioning guide. All right, so just kind of indicate that, just walk them through each step. All right, we're going to start with our program guide. All right, it's almost assured that in the very beginning, the client is not going to have really a clue what to do in their off days. Right, and as their trainer, your job is to go through with them and kind of instruct them on what to do and how this program applies to them. All right, so starting with a standard routine, okay, they can either follow a standard routine, okay, in which we just kind of list out exactly what to do on which days, sort of a boilerplate routine, or we can customize it based upon their needs. All right, and this will come in more, as we go along. But you'll notice here that moving down to the fitness schedule, the client's going to have a workout A and a workout B. These are strength training workouts that they're going to perform on their own. So, for example, if the client works out with you 2 days a week, then they would do one of these workouts on their own. Okay, so just in this example, the client is doing workout A, so we want them strength training, doing workout A on Monday. We want them doing workout B on Wednesday, and we want them doing workout A on Friday. And again, just explain that, if they're working out with you 2 of those days, or, any 2 alternate days, we just want them working out on their own on the 3rd strength training day. On their off days, they're doing either their mobility circuit or they're doing their mobility off day routine, and this is just the routine that we have them do, the foam rolling and the stretching routine before workout. Okay, and then some sort of a cardiovascular activity that we've included, later on. So they do the rolling first, and then the cardiovascular activity on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay, so those are their off days, and then they have a complete rest day. Okay, all right. So that's kind of the ideal world. That's what we want them to do. All right. We've also given them a custom schedule. Okay, and this is just kind of based upon some different things that we might fill in here. So, for example, if the client can't do if they're working out with you on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then you would just fill those workouts in instead, and you just kind of customize when the client does these things based upon their specific schedule. All right, as well, moving back up to our client fitness program, you'll also notice that we have also a customizable portion of this as well. All right, while we've included core training in our workouts A and B, all right, we can also give them specific core training assignments by simply writing them in here. Just going down the line, if we want them to do a certain level of conditioning or a specialty program, we just write it in here, and then we would include that in the schedule. And as well for daily posture. Some clients will have specific areas that we want to roll and stretch. We simply write that into this box. And then for finally our off-day program. A good example of that would be for new clients, we're often going to have them do what is called the Couch to 5K. So rather than doing like, maybe a tempo run or just a standard program where they choose whatever they want, we just indicate, look, I want you doing this Couch to 5K program, write it in there and then fill it in the schedule here. Okay, now just moving on briefly, we're just going to touch upon these workouts separately. Okay, we have a workout A here, okay, which contains a core training routine. All right, so they're just going to perform these things as a circuit, as instructed here. Moving on to the next circuit, a strength circuit of 3 exercises. Again, they're going to perform these back to back as informed or as directed in the step 2 of the program, or circuit 2. And then they have circuit 3, which is just some kind of a conditioning activity. But this is what we would consider a standard strength training program, and they would perform this in lieu of working out with a trainer. So if they had like one off day workout to do, they might do this in place. They might come into the gym and perform workout A, as opposed to working out with you. Okay, so as well, just turning the page here, we've also included a workout B. So the client has a little bit of variety. They're just going to go back and forth between those 2 things, with each workout. Moving on, we also have what is called a do-it-yourself circuit. So this is where the client can just pick an exercise. These are all body weight drills. They can simply pick an exercise, follow the directions to form a circuit. We instruct them to perform each exercise in an interval format, right? As and this is a circuit that they can do when they're on the road or in a hotel room. So this is all body weight type stuff. This is a good alternative if they don't have access to a gym. Okay, so now moving on. Just moving on here, we have a copy of our Couch to 5K program for beginner clients for off-day cardio. We also have a copy of just a a bit more strenuous cardiovascular workouts. We have an interval training routine, walking and jogging instructions, and also a tempo workout. So the client can pick any of these. They're just kind of available to them. And based upon their program, we might indicate if they're training primarily aerobically that month, we would maybe want them to do more tempo workouts versus interval training. But that's something that we can indicate with each client. Now moving on, finally we have our mobility routine. Okay, and once again, this is just a standard stretching and foam rolling routine that we will go through with the clients, in their warm-up routine. We want them performing this in their off days as well, if possible. So we're going to order them a foam roller. We're simply going to ask them to perform this as instructed here, and then move on to stretching. Okay, so this would be their post-workout stretching. They would do that next, and then finish up with mobility drills. If all they can do is foam roll, that's perfectly fine, but this just gives them a little bit of structure, something that they know to do, and something that will help them to, alleviate soreness in their off days. All right, finally, we have what is called a daily posture circuit. All right, and the daily posture circuit is just a little bit of homework that we ask the client to do on a daily basis, just kind of based upon, areas of, that we found to be particularly tight or inflexible. So if it's a client who is really tight in the hips, we might ask them to, roll their hips and calves every day and stretch. Okay, if it's their shoulders, we might ask them to do this sequence. But we just provide some simple directions here. Once again, we just ask the client to do that as often as they possibly can, and that'll just help to loosen them up. But again, all of that information is contained in our fitness schedule. Just make sure that the client understands each portion of this. Go through it with them. For the first month or so, make sure that they understand what they're doing, and ask them frequently. Did you understand what you were doing? And give them advice. Modify this as necessary. But be sure to explain this to them thoroughly during the first month, so they know exactly what they are doing.